Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is Amy with friEdTechnology, and I've got some great team members with us tonight. Jason, who has not joined us before. Jason, thanks for joining us. We're really excited to have you here and to get some new ideas in our group. And Tammy, who brought us the magical magic last time, so we're just expecting more magical magic this time.
Unicorn.
Unicorn, magical magic. And then Brooke, you guys know Brooke. She's here with us tonight too. And she's going to be moderating the chat on YouTube. The document is also open for comments if you want to add something, or you have an idea of your own you want us to add. We'd love to include that. So be sure you also know that the document is open for comments. So we're here tonight to talk about digital citizenship, and it's something that we all have to do. Everybody who works in public school has to do it, and everybody who works in schools should do it. So, but it's one of those things that you're like, okay, you know, after testing's over with, we're really going to do this. And we all know we should be doing it all year. We should be doing it every day. But what does that really look like? What are the best resources out there? Are there any new resources that maybe you don't know about yet that have come about since, you know, you put your stuff together 5 years ago or whatever? So we're going to be sharing ideas and trying to kind of elaborate plans that other districts are using. I've worked in a really large Texas school district before, so I'll try to share some of those ideas, and then also what we did in a much smaller school district in Huntsville ISD. I think we found some kind of creative ways to address digital citizenship. We had a really creative superintendent at the time who wanted us to think outside the box, and so I'm looking forward to sharing that too. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Hopefully that intrigues you. I want to say one more thing, and just an extremely brief advertising. We have a couple of online courses that are starting really soon. If you don't know that already, we're just starting to provide online courses. We're really excited about what we have going on. It's some pretty cool stuff. So check out our online courses. You'll see those on our website, of course, at friEdTechnology.com. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start out with Tammy. She works in Dimmitt ISD, and Tammy, it looks like you are having an idea be born. So I'm going to switch the camera over to you because I can't wait to hear what's going on.
Okay. All right, let me see if I can do this correctly. Yes, I'm going to share this. Y'all give me, and I'm needing to sign in here. Awesome. How about this? Don't you love when this happens?
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yes, I'm going to sign in with this really quickly. All right, so while I'm signing in, let me...
Hold on, I'm going to share it with your other account so you don't have to switch.
Okay, I think I can see this okay. All right, so we went one-to-one with Chromebooks this year, but we sort of did it in a really big hurry because we had them, and it was the idea, get them out there and start using them. And so there were so many things that we're backtracking on, and digital citizenship is one of those, which it shouldn't be, but that's the way it worked out. So we're birthing this plan, and we're planning on having several different parent meetings so that we can first educate our parents on what digital citizenship is and basic technology. And then we're going to add a page specifically for our parents as for resources for digital citizenship, for how-tos, and all of those different things, a list of websites they can go to that are best for parents as far as digital citizenship. And so we're beginning work on those pages, and the planning is in the process for the parents. Then we will, of course, follow up with teachers and then students, because even though we've met with teachers and we've talked about these things, I feel like I probably didn't do a really good job of giving them the resources they needed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Tammy, I want to ask you some questions about that. So okay. I've actually visited your school before and know a little bit at least about your community. And I know that the way that you handle these things often has a lot to do with the community you're dealing with. So I'm guessing that your parents come to those parent meetings and are concerned people who are going out sort of seeking that information. Is that right?
Yes. And I think sometimes you have to pull back after you think you've done something really great, and go back and retrace your steps and say, oh, you know what, we did not do a good job of preparing the parents for the devices their kids are bringing home.
And what has happened, if you can share that has made you guys come back to that reflection that maybe things were not done like you should have done them or wish you would have done them in retrospect?
Well, other than a few, wayward children on the internet,
right?
I think our parents just did not realize the importance of their kids having the engagement of the devices, and they weren't aware of kind of monitoring what was going on with their kids, and they didn't realize the power, I guess, that their kids had in their hands with their Chromebooks, and they couldn't help them with troubleshooting, things like that, that we should have prepared them for.
Gotcha. So really it was just because you guys were in such a hurry, you wanted to get the devices in the kids' hands. So
yes.
Yeah, that's really what kind of started things maybe not being in as organized a fashion as you would have hoped they would be.
Right. And we had the devices, and, they were just burning a hole in our pockets, so to speak. And we agreed when we put those out there that we might have to pull back and do some things differently. And sure enough, it's happening.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, thank you very much, because I mean, that's something that happens in a ton of school districts, and you go back and, then you try to do it right and get those questions answered, after the fact. Whenever it comes to you, you need to do it. That's when you do it. So it's good. And I'm really wondering, as we switch over to Jason, you haven't been with us before, especially, and I've only been to your school district one time. I don't know that much about it. Is it going to be a similar situation where you are, as far as parents wanting to pull that information from you guys? Or are you going to have to be more pushy, or what? How's that going to go?
Kind of yes and no. Like when our parents come, our parents have to show up, and when we distribute Chromebooks, parents have to watch a video that's created that shows the care of a Chromebook and what the Chromebook is used for. And I think, as far as, like you said, the troubleshooting part, no, not so much. But that video, they have to watch that video before their child is issued that Chromebook that gives them.
Did you guys make that video?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Is that something you can share?
Sure. I think I'm look it up and find it for you. Sure. It should be on.
That'd be awesome.
Most definitely.
I think a lot of districts would be interested in seeing that. So, I mean, this is what I'm envisioning. Are you guys having the parents come to the school and saying, okay, you go to this station, you watch the video, you come over here, you check out your child's Chromebook? Exactly.
We have I'm at Brazoswood High School. We have 2,600 kids at that high school, and each kid has a device. So we have what's called early buck, because we're the Buccaneers. And we have ninth and 11th, and then 10th and 12th. And those students show up. They have to make sure they have a filled out form, which they can get online. They sign it to pay for their insurance if they need to pay for their insurance. And then they watch the video with their parent, or they have the option to watch it online before they come to the early buck registration to get their Chromebook. Once they show that they have watched the video, filled out their form, paid for their insurance, changed their password, then they're distributed a Chromebook.
Okay, I think you're sharing some stuff right now that people are going to be really interested in. So I would love for you to add a link to the video and also a link to the form. People contact me all the time, and the only form I have to share with them is one I made like 5 years ago, and I know people are going to be interested. That process that you just described, like, you may think that's no big deal, but that's a really great idea for making sure, like, your bases are covered.
And last year was our first year, so we've of course fine-tuned it last year, at the end of last year, and figured out what we need to do different at the beginning of this school year. And it went, I think a lot easier, a lot smoother. That's the same thing too. We're refining and changing things that we find in our Empower Ed handbook that kids have to, and parents have to sign that they've read the Empower Ed handbook, and all of that before they even get the Chromebook. So there's things that we're even tweaking still in our second year as one-to-one at the high school. So
Tammy, are you thinking you're going to go steal all these resources that Jason's going to put in this document?
Yes, we actually had ours fill out a form and then pay a fee, which a lot of them refuse to pay the fee.
Really?
And did you guys check the device out to the children anyway, even if the parents won't pay for the insurance or pay the fee?
We didn't.
If they waive, there's a box that they check that they do not want to pay the insurance. It's a $15 insurance policy. And pretty much it's the cost of the device. So it's like thinking of a preloaded gift card for like $260. So if the student breaks a bezel, they go in, the technician fixes the bezel, they note it in their insurance that, I fixed this bezel. They take the amount of the bezel out of that $260, and that's how much they have left. If they don't purchase the insurance, the first time that they break that device, they're charged a $25 fee. That $25 fee will fix that device that first time. After that first time, the second time they break it, they have to pay the full cost of fixing the device.
Yeah, so probably most people are choosing to do that. It's just so much less expensive.
Right, but you'd be amazed at some that don't do it. But $15, man, it's buying you. I pretty much sell it as that that $15 insurance fee is buying you a $260 loaded gift card for a Chromebook.
Yeah, that's a good description. So Tammy, do you guys just let the children use the device at school then if their parents won't pay the fee?
Generally, when they won't pay the fee, they either have a device at home or they just use their phones.
Oh gosh, that could be problematic for teachers.
I know. And our district doesn't allow BYOD, so they can't bring their own laptops to school because of, viruses, those kinds of things. So it's a learning process for us. And I think every school is different as far as expectations of use, how they're being used, if they're using them at home, those kinds of things. So,
right. Okay, Jason, I got some more questions for you. So back to the digital citizenship discussion. So you guys have divided your topics then into grade levels, and you're kind of addressing, did you guys decide this is the most important topic to address at this grade level, or how does that work?
Well, you want students to get something different every year. You don't want them to get the same lesson every year. So we've kind of taken it and broken it down so they get a different topic every year, because that's mainly the official digital citizenship lesson that we do is in the fall. And so to make sure that kids get something different, that's why we break it up that way.
And how do you guys actually deliver that? Do you do that? Do you give that to teachers and teachers do it? It's a pretty big school where you are. So how does that work?
What we do is we choose a day and we go on a pep rally schedule. So instead of going to the pep rally, the kids go and stay in their fourth period class, and the teacher and the students do that digital citizenship lesson together as a whole. Okay. So that's why, on our media and digital learning website, we've got, lessons, prepared lessons and things that you can just click on and go and do. But, I was talking to some kids. I was like, yeah, it's time to do digital citizenship. And they're like, oh, do we have to watch the video of Friday Night Lights again? It's something that they've already seen. So yeah. With a group of 2,600, I wanted to come up with, something new and fresh for them and a little bit more up to date, I guess I could say, so I tried to find things that would interest them and hold their attention, and things that might catch their eye and be like, wow, I didn't even think about that. Percentages and statistics and true false statements that they didn't even, they never think about, because digital citizenship is not something that is on their minds all the time. So,
well, I like your questions because they're kind of racy, and I think that when you're talking about high school kids, I mean, you're gonna have to be real with them because they're living in this world every day. We're just visiting it for a few minutes. So, like one of the questions Jason's having teachers ask is, which sex is more likely to experience cyberbullying at some point in their life? So then hopefully teachers are engaging their kids in a discussion about, you know, which gender do you think it is, and why would that be? You know, and the answer is females. Why would that be a thing? And I'm guessing that leads to some pretty real discussions.
Right. And notice that is for seniors. That's a 12th grade lesson. I'm not going to give that lesson to a freshman. That would just be derailed after that first, after the first question. Is
right.
Completely different, maturity level. But I don't think students at 16, 17, and 18 think about things like that.
Yeah, they don't.
They just post. It's not a meaning behind their post.
Hey,
Right.
I kind of want to jump in there with that, talking about what your students don't think about, because when I was in 6th grade, I can honestly say that there are several days a year that I ditched my complete lesson plan for the day to have real conversation with my students based on, we watched the CNN student news every morning. And I specifically remember a conversation we had one day over a guy who was in prison because he wrote things on his Facebook post about hurting his ex-wife. And the kids were like, oh, he deserves to be in jail. But then he said his whole thing and his lawyer was doing was that he was writing words to a rap song. So we had a really good conversation with, if you read the lyrics of some of the rap music that's out there on the radio that we memorize and we listen to, if that were posted on Facebook, could that be a threat to someone's family member?
Wow.
And we had a real conversation with it. And my kids were like, wow, maybe, if that was written on Facebook, I would take that as a threat and I wouldn't be okay with that. And so, it was a really eye-opening conversation we had that day about the things that we take lightly, where if it were in a different context, if someone saw it in a different way, could you end up in jail?
Yeah. Those are the best discussions, though. Like when it comes up in a real situation like that and you stop what you're doing and you have the discussion. I mean, that's where the most learning happens.
Yeah. Hey, Amy, can we give out this link to our document? It's not letting me add it in the chat, the moderating chat, for some reason tonight.
Yeah, let me screen share that real quick, and I will make it big on here for a minute because we'd love to have you guys be in the document with us too. So it's fried.tech/dig with a capital D, and then lowercase IG, and then sit, capital C, lowercase IT. So hopefully we'll see some more of you guys in the document. I didn't even think about that. I'm like, where are you guys? Why aren't you in the document? We told you about the document. But.
And I'm pretty sure we've added the link in the moderation chat before, and it just will not let me put any sort of hyperlink in the chat tonight. So
no, it's annoying, isn't it? How it does that. All right. Well, thanks for that so far. I'm really looking forward to us also getting to the resources that we have to share tonight, and hoping that there are some new resources that maybe we can share with people. Let's see. Who is next? Okay, next was going to be Teresa. She could not join us tonight. If you're not in Texas, you might not know that we've got some really bad weather happening this evening, and she has experienced that. She's up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and she's new to our team. We're really looking forward to introducing her to everyone, but she couldn't make it tonight. But we got an echo somewhere, Brooke.
I think we got it. I think it was on my end.
Okay, great. So she's left us an idea here that you guys can read about and click the links on. So I will talk about a couple of ideas, and then we're going to move on to resources and maybe even get some from the folks who are joining us tonight. So I love this idea from Brenham ISD. This example is kind of old, but I think you guys will get the picture. So they started doing this in Brenham years ago. I'm not even sure if they still do it, but it's such a great idea that people should be using this. What they did is they had students make digital citizenship messages, so kind of like memes. And the district tech department actually pushes those out to different grade levels for a period of time on all their Chromebooks. So if you're in 5th grade, you open up a Chromebook this week, it's got a digital citizenship message or lesson there. It's made by another student in your grade level. And that is one of the ways that they are sharing that message. Hopefully this will open up. Whoops. It looks like I maybe didn't link it directly to the resource. I'll go back in hopefully and fix that later. Sorry about that. But anyway, I was able to find one of those from long ago. And I actually have seen this option in the control panel before. This is not as hard to do as you would think. Just do a Google search for how to push out backgrounds to Chromebooks, and you'll see how to do that. It's pretty simple. So this is what we did when we were in Huntsville ISD, and I wish somebody had just shown me this idea, because I can tell you we worked on it for a long time. It was just a ton of work. But what we did is we used the resources from Common Sense Media, which a lot of you guys said you used too. But we actually went and saved all those resources, brought them down to local places, set up all the sharing and everything, and then published them really directly for different grade levels. So if you're an elementary school teacher and you teach 1st grade, you go here and it has some extremely specific directions that you follow. So we put this together years ago. I don't know if this is still used or not.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, when I was just there 2 years ago and we had just made a few changes to this, we would try to switch out the material so that some of it had changed, and so we were still trying to. And I know personally as a teacher who utilized that website when you guys made it, and I taught elementary school, and then when I went to the intermediate school, it was so nice to be able to pick and choose and customize that lesson and really get in there with my students and kind of see what they learned the year before, so I could start to build on that and know what they were going to learn the next year. Was a really great part of that website.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that it's still used and that it was useful. I thought it was, because I went back into my Google Drive from Huntsville ISD the other day, which they have very kindly let me keep access to all these years, and all the files had been updated. Some by people I don't even know who have come to work there since I left. So that was good. I thought that all that work we did was not for nothing. Sure. We had a lot of digital citizenship discussions in Huntsville ISD because we had a lot of technology and we had a lot of issues that we dealt with. And so I was constantly inspired to try to think about this topic, because we were dealing with it just constantly. And this is a resource that we also made when I was in that school district. And I thought I came up with this idea, and I did. I wasn't aware of having seen it anywhere else. And then I found out that there are other people who have also had this idea. I mean, I was just thinking about it, and you guys probably know I have tattoos. And, you know, I thought about what to get tattooed on myself for about 43 years before I did it. And I recommend everyone do that. Think about it for 43 years. But it came to me that what you do online is not, you know, like we say footprint, it's really not a footprint. That's really dumb, because you think about footprints in the sand. Doesn't everybody think about that?
Goes away.
Yeah, what happens is the sea washes over it and it's gone. And that's not how it is. So I made these because I thought that they might be something that would appeal to kids. Like I made this Dora one. They all can be downloaded as posters. They're all in this blog post here. Like, it would be really embarrassing to a 13-year-old to have brought back the fact that they love Dora the Explorer, right? Like, that wouldn't really bother me that much, you know, big deal. But to a 13-year-old, that could be really humiliating. Or that you really loved Justin Bieber at some point, you know, might be really humiliating later on. So not that those things should be embarrassing, but I thought that they might resonate with kids. Kids might think, yeah, that would be embarrassing later on. So
I think that would be a great activity. Like, you know, give the students some time to look back at their Twitter post or their Facebook post and find that they literally have posted in their past that they literally regret, that is clean enough to put, you know, for an assignment.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Share those out. I think if kids see like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, then they're going to be able to see other kids and be like, okay, yeah, we did some really dumb stuff when we were younger. You know
what you could do, wouldn't it be? If I was teaching school tomorrow, I would do that. Mm-hmm. What I would do is I'd set up a Google form that was anonymous.
Yes.
And I would have kids type in something that you have posted online that you now regret. Mm-hmm. And then I would be able to read those and figure out which ones I could actually share. That is a brilliant idea. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
This is kind of in the left field of that as well, but something for those of you who may watch Ellen, she a lot of times will take her audience members, whoever hacks into their stuff or looks at it, and she takes their post out of context, like she doesn't put the words, and embarrasses them. And people are totally mortified. And every time I watch that, I think, what would you find? Like, what could you take out of context that's on mine? Because if I ever got the chance to go on Ellen and that ended up being my 15 minutes of fame, is something I posted on social media that was taken out of context, like, I'm just going to stay at home because it's terrible. Like,
I don't know if y'all know how much Brooke loves Ellen.
I do. I love that. Yes.
It might just be worthwhile to share that is a deep love. So the fact that she would stay home over that is really...
Well, because you have to think about it. Mm-hmm. But when we talked about those tattoos, digital tattoos with my kids, with my younger elementary kids, I always use the example of, think about a time when you were really mad at your parents and you said something really hateful, and it not only hurt your mom, but it hurt you. What if every time you said something hateful to your friends or your mom or your dad, and they wrote it down and painted it on your bedroom wall or on the kitchen wall, and they told you they forgave you, but they never repainted over it? It stayed there forever.
Right.
Like, how would that make you feel to see that all the time? Because at 15 or 16, you're gonna be like, oh, I remember this one time I said to so and so, and I wish I hadn't. So be careful. Don't use your status box as a Kleenex box or an angry box. Like, some things are still meant for pen and paper that you can throw away.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Yeah.
Well, the last idea I wanted to share, I think, is maybe the best idea that we pursued and actually implemented in Huntsville ISD, and that was our film festival. So at the time we did this, we had a really great high school film teacher, Andrew Stewart. Any of you guys who are watching who might know him, he was a great film teacher at Huntsville High School, and he had kids making really awesome products. They went to state every year in film and just made some great stuff. So it got us thinking about, what if we could get our high school kids making cyber safety, digital citizenship films, 4 different grade levels, and then we could kind of have a competition. So we would know that the films were watched because we're going to do voting. So let's say you made your film and the target was 3rd through 5th grade, then all 3rd through 5th graders would watch that film, and they would all get to vote on any films in that category that were appropriate for them to watch. So we did that, and we actually gave away technology to those students who were on the winning team. I just put a link there to the films. Ruthie found them for me, Brooke. I didn't even know if they still existed, but she went back in some resource and found these films. I think Caitlin's group won. I'm pretty sure it's this 4th film here. So if anybody wants to take a look at those, please do. They may even be appropriate to still be used. One of them, I don't even remember which one, but one of them was was kind of shocking and really, really made me think. So hopefully someone can use that idea.
Can I stop you there and ask you?
Please, yes, please do.
I might lean on you for this, because one of my professional goals this year is to create a student organization for digital citizenship and digital learning. And so far this year, it really hasn't taken off the ground. I've been utilizing our student council and our National Honor Society kids. And I finally realized they're so much busier. They're busy too. Yeah. They've got blood drives. They've got, food banks. They've got all this other stuff going on. And there's kids out there that like being in front of a camera. And I want to make digital citizenship videos of our kids giving out information. And so I might lean on you, because I like the idea of the video contest and how y'all did that, and that's something that I can start, maybe later this year or continue my goal into next year.
I love that idea. I wonder if we could get we might ask our friends at We Video if they would like to be involved in that somehow. Maybe they would be willing to donate some licenses or something like that to some of your kids who want to participate in that. It seems like something they might want to get involved in.
Right.
So Amy,
ask that. Yeah.
So did you have like a red carpet awards night where they got to walk down the carpet and they got their little award?
We should have done that. We did go and take them the technology that they won, and they got checked out those devices for the rest of their time in high school. So they were a sophomore, and they got, I think they were iPads at the time, because we just could not figure out how to share iPads, and we had some iPads. And so we checked that kid out an iPad, and as long as they remained enrolled in Huntsville ISD, they had that device. So it was a pretty big deal, but we should have done the red carpet.
I think that would be so much fun.
It really would. That's a great idea to get everybody dressed up and all that. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, Brooke, do we have any comments or shares in our chat that we should add to ideas before we move on to resources?
Not at the moment. We're just getting a couple that are saying they like the ideas and they're excited about it. Let's share the, will you share the document one more time? We've got a few new viewers. I'm going to make sure that they can get into the document.
Sure will. All right, so it is fried.tech/DIG capital D, sit capital C. And remember, this is open for comments as well. Looks like we got one from Don here. Thanks, Don. Oh, good. So he's sharing an orientation video. Awesome. We'll add that to the document as well. Yes, thanks very much. All right, so there's that document, and we are going to move down to the bottom section now, which is going to be resources. I know that some of these resources haven't changed in years, but I'm thinking we might have people who this is a new responsibility to them this year, and they might not know about Common Sense Media. So let's go ahead and talk about them anyway, let people know what the benefits of them are and all that kind of stuff, even if you think everybody in the world already knows about this resource. So Tammy, we are starting with you. Tell us about Netsmartz.
Okay, so let me just tell you my little experience with Netsmartz. I was in charge of sharing with a school in the Panhandle a digital citizenship sort of. It was like I had high school and I had junior high, and then I also met with the elementary. So I did some research, and this one was several years ago, and I keep referring back to it because it has some great ideas in there. And so it has its resources broken down into K through 2, 3 through 5, tweens, teens, parents, and teachers. And what I like about it is that it has PDFs, resources, downloadables. And so let me just give you a couple of things that I really loved about it. So for the tweens, there was a guy a video in there, and this guy met with these kids, and he said, and it was called 6 Clicks. Have you heard of that before?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so he brings, I don't know, 4 or 5 kids in, and he said, I bet I can find out everything about you and maybe things you don't know in 6 clicks. So he goes in and he looks at all the kids' social media. He looks at their parents' social media, and he comes back and he meets with them, and he says to this guy, hey, your girlfriend's gonna be really mad when she finds out you've been cheating on her. And he's like, what are you talking about? So he finds different profiles that this kid has made, but he ties them all together. Somehow there's something in common. He also says to this girl, you're not going to get those high-heeled shoes that you wanted because your mom says so-and-so, and she was just mortified. And then another mother posted something about their kid that the kid didn't even know was posted. So it was a very strong case for be careful what you put out there, but not only what you put out there, also what your parents put out there.
Mm-hmm.
So in 6 clicks, he found out all kinds of information about these kids, and they were just shocked.
And we can get to that, Tammy, through the Netsmartz site.
Yes. Hold on in just a second. I'm sorry, I didn't have that one linked. Yeah, it's just netsmartz.org.
Okay.
Let me see if mine will go. I've got so many windows up. Yeah, here it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you can see here's presentation. So if you just wanted to do like a, an hour presentation, then you could download some of this stuff, and it tells you exactly what to say if you want to use it. There are video topics, and so I like that they're divided into age levels so that they're appropriate.
Is this one you're talking about called 6 Degrees of Information? Because I think I just found it.
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, I'm going to link that one because that sounds like particularly powerful, and it listed for ages 11 through 17, I think.
Yeah. So at the time I did it, there was only 3 levels, I think, and they've broken it down even more now. So, but I really like their information, and it used to be kind of old, but they're updating it.
Great. Yeah, that's one of the things about it, that these things change so fast, and they look bad so fast too. And if the kids see them and they look old or whatever, like they're gone.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, really.
The other thing about that is when I did the presentation to the high school, in the video, one of the girls was asked to like raise her shirt, and and so I just had to come out and say to the kids, all right, they're going to say the word boob. So everybody say boob, and let's get it out. And
just go ahead and say it.
They all looked at me like I had 3 eyeballs, and I was like, well, we all have them. Boys have them, girls have them.
Oh, Tammy, we can always count on you.
Yep. Last time that was magical, and this time it's boob.
Sorry. You know how kids are.
That's awesome.
Ahead of time. But I mean, more seriously, that girl ended up I think she committed suicide. And so, so it shows them how, she just sent that to her boyfriend, and then he shared it with his friends, and then pretty soon it got to her brother, and then it got to her mom, and then got to her dad. And so, it was a very serious, this is how far it can go when you share.
That's kind of like with Snapchat. Kids think, oh, I'm taking a picture, it'll go away after somebody looks at it. Oh, they didn't screenshot it because it didn't tell me that they screenshot it. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows that maybe they put their phone on the table, got their iPad, took a picture of that, the picture that you sent on Snapchat.
I have wanted to do that so many times, and I never could think about how to do it. Now I don't teach children anymore. I don't learn things like that.
I mean, you don't even have to go that far. I just have a screen recorder app, and
you could video it.
I turn it on before I even open a Snapchat, or if I'm going to replay it, if it's something that my niece has sent me that I know is going to be hysterical, and she doesn't think it's going to stay there forever, but someday she's going to realize that I was techier than her.
Graduation.
We had an incident, this year of, students that thought, hey, I'll send it to my boyfriend, and that's all that's going to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the new iOS has the screen recorder option at a flip. Yeah. I mean, you just open it, and that's what kids are using for Snapchat. So, yeah.
So scary.
So, Tammy, tell us, Common Sense Education, how are you guys using this particular, because would you all agree this is probably the most extensive resource that there is out there?
Yes, and I actually spoke with the tech apps teacher, 7th and 8th grade, and she was saying that she really loved it because it was divided into skill areas. It was broken into 3 different areas, and you could choose lessons amongst those areas. So if you know more about that, speak to it. but she was just saying that it was really good to check those things off, and if it was something that the kids already knew or that she, you know, could assess that they had a grip on, then they could just move on to the next little area.
And that's what we used to build that website that I showed you guys from Huntsville that Brooke and I had a conversation about. We pulled the resources that we thought were just most relevant for our particular audience, because I mean, you know, everybody knows how busy teachers are. That's no secret to anyone. And, you know, we just wanted to, we don't want to say here's the whole Common Sense website, because it's really overwhelming. It's great information, but there's so much of it. So that's why we pulled out pieces of it like that.
And it lends itself well to a tech app situation, because if you need it for a whole semester, you know, you can plan ahead and check those things off that you've covered. And
right. It's really, really great resource and totally free. All right, Tammy, I do not know anything about this PBS Kids or Cyberwise.
Okay, so the PBS Kids, as it says, is for ages 8 to 10, and it is like a gaming situation. You're a Webinaut, and you go through a series of missions, and so you have to do so many things in the identity mission, in the privacy, in the credibility to move. It's like moving to the next level. So you have to find so many things, choose whether you would do this to, I mean, specifics, I can't tell you at this moment, but for example, in the identity, would this be something you would share? And if so, you would land on it, or you would fly by it, or whatever your little Webinar mission is. So what I think that kids like about that is it's more like a game.
That's cool.
So
yeah, it looks really cute.
Yeah. So isn't that cute?
It is. All right. And what about Cyberwise?
Okay, so Cyberwise is mostly information for parents and educators. And so here, let me get to it right there.
Here, I actually pulled it up for you, Tammy, if you just want to talk.
Okay, so it gives information about, when we say digital citizenship, we know what we're saying, but parents don't always. And so it goes down into the in-depth of digital citizenship. And so they've got a little video called Cyber Civics. They have basically mini citizenship lessons. And so these are for parents and educators to use. So like, for example, I'm clicking on digital citizenship, leading us into and talking about character. And so it gives, there are experts who speak about character, and it links to character.org.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it gives really specific resources.
Great. Brooke, I wonder if you can talk about what BrainPop has to offer. I did not. Did you know that? I know you're a BrainPop certified.
Yeah, with the BrainPop, they, first of all, if I talk about BrainPop, they are a very small company, and that is something that people don't realize, is that even though they are serving so many people and so many schools, they are a very, very small company. And so
I didn't know that. Like, how many people are we talking about here? Like 10 or like 50?
I know as far as the guys who, when we became certified, the 6 people that were in the room were the 6 people who were actually creating the content, the games, the video creators, the animators, and that was maybe not even 3 years ago at TCA. So if you emailed them, I know that their program as far as customer service has grown, but anytime you have an idea about something that you think should be on BrainPop, they listen and they create videos for teachers, and they want educators helping them build the content so that it's always relatable and relevant. And so I know with their digital citizenship, they really focus on exactly what the students are needing, what's relatable and what is relevant to what they need.
That's cool. And it looks like Teresa has listed that there are some free resources there. So even if your school doesn't buy BrainPop, you might be able to access those.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, Jason,
Yes.
I know nothing about any of these resources, so start telling us about the harbor.
The harbor, yes. Thank goodness for my principal this year. She works really close with Jostens and Jostens Renaissance. And Mike Smith, who, oh wow, I'm looking at myself talk. Kind of weird.
Awkward.
Yeah, it's a very awkward moment. I'm looking at myself. Mike Smith is a guy, he has exploded, and he goes all throughout the United States, and he's a motivational speaker. He actually has I'm going to give him a plug right here. He has a book. His newest book is Legacy versus Likes. And it's
I love that title.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at, I'm going to kind of show you, it's very colorful. It's very
awesome.
It's what kids want to see when they're going to have to read a book. This is what they want to see. And they'll actually, it's got some really good things in it. He's in this, the harbor is kind of this video collection that he has made. And it talks about everything from digital citizenship to digital detoxing, to acceptance, to peer pressure, to he covers the gamut for teenagers. I would say it's more geared towards junior high school kids, but he's a skater. He plays in a band. He's got tattoos, long hair, and so he's very relatable to the kids, and he talks to where the kids completely understand it and they completely get it. Our students were lucky enough to be able to go to he had a seminar in Houston, and our kids were able to go back in the fall. And
cool.
we actually did a book talk with him on a Google Hangout with student council.
So cool.
January, yeah. I think we did it. And so it was really cool to get to ask him questions and things like that. But let me see. I'm going to let me see if I can do this right.
I love digital detox.
It's the best. And I made some notes for tonight. And that's one thing that I wrote the most about. This is a digital detox, because kids don't know when to put it down. And they don't know how to put it down. And they don't know what to do when they put it down. So, that digital detox that he talks about is so important, because the kids don't know what to do without a cellular device in their hands or some type of technology. And when he means digital detox, he means all screens, TV, iPad, anything with a screen. You don't look at it. But let me see if I can screen share. Application window. Let's try this.
I just got tickled because I was thinking, from now on, I'm just gonna tell Amy, I'll just be like, I'm having a digital detox today.
No, I do. I was thinking Brooke's better at that than I am, because I very rarely, like Sundays, usually I try not to use a lot of technology on Sundays. But other than that, like, I am always on it. And Brooke's like won't reply for 45 minutes. I'm like, the longest 45 minutes of my life. Like, what is she doing?
That's funny. I think I'm pretty good at it.
You are. You're just not as fast as I am, because
that's true. Very true. I panic when you don't respond, because I'm like,
I know. Like, as she died.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah.
But you know what?
I need to be better at that.
But I was reading somewhere where they were saying, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Looking at you. That you should take 3.5 hours a day. And yes, I know. I kind of cried a little bit when I read it too.
I know Brooke was looking at my face.
We're starting to shake as you speak.
Amy, awake time, right, Jason? Not asleep.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'd get there every day.
Yes, most definitely.
Well, how long does it take you to get ready? Leave your phone in the bedroom.
From the time my alarm goes off to the 4 snoozes I hit, to the time I get dressed, to the time I get out into my truck, that should be about 3.5 hours, because snooze goes for about 2 hours. So,
wow.
So I wish.
Only if there are no emails to read during that time, but okay.
Can y'all see the harbor screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
And anyways, this is their website, and any school or it's free. So your district or your campus will need a campus code. If you don't have a campus code, you fill out this form, and it will just a step-by-step form. They'll send you a code, and that way you can log in, and you have all of these videos that Mike Smith has made, and it goes, you know, you see failure and failure. Let's see, I'm trying to find tolerance and acceptance. So it's not just digital citizenship, but it's things that all kids need to hear. And,
you know, but all of this stuff takes place online now. It's like everything in life is digital citizenship now, because how are those communications going to happen? They're going to happen through social media, or
that's where everything. That's where kids communicate the most.
Yeah, right.
And the great thing with this, though, each one comes with a critical thinking guide that you can print out or get a digital copy of.
That's awesome.
And it's just, it goes all the way back. I mean, it's just, I'm scrolling all the way. These are all the videos that you had to choose from. And
this is an amazing resource.
And it's relevant to kids. That's what I love about it so much. So the good thing about this is the videos are no longer than like 5 minutes. So
nobody watches a video longer than 5 minutes a day. So,
and it's something that you can share in your class. You know, you've got that. Okay, instead of watching CNN News, we're going to watch a digital detox video, or we're going to watch a video over time management. You know, and it's all there for you. It's free, and it's fantastic.
And Jason, what grade levels would you say this could be appropriate for? Like, let's say you went through the videos, you cherry picked them. How young could this potentially go? 7th grade?
I would say 8th grade.
Okay.
8th grade, 8th to 12th. 7th graders are kind of that. Let me see. Am I coming back? 7th graders are kind of in that immature phase, I think, because I taught 8th grade for 9 years, and they were so different when they got to 8th grade.
Yeah,
I agree.
And so 7th graders kind of, I don't know, maybe it would be fine for 7th grade, but I would think 8 to C.
Okay.
So
awesome. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to go watch some of those videos. It actually looked, I saw some topics I thought looked intriguing myself that I want to go watch.
Can I read this real quick that I jotted down?
Yeah, please.
It was talking about digital detoxes, and it was saying how Mike Smith said, be present and don't live through your screen. Many people seek validation through what's on their screen and what they see on social media. And what he's saying is, when you see that, you're living just a filtered version of your life. You've created an online personality that is not who you really are.
That's profound.
Yeah, and it hinders you from being connected in real life.
You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of, how you go to an event and you end up filming it, and what do you watch? You're looking at your phone, not at what's really happening. And it's like, you're never going to see that again. You're never going to go watch that video. Like, you'd be way better off putting your phone down and paying attention to what's going on right now. But it's like we feel compelled to do this.
And one quick note, in one of his videos, he mentions it's a digital detox video where he's at a concert, and the lead singer says, get your phones out. I'm going to sing a song, video it, put it out there, Twitter it, Facebook, whatever. Okay.
And then put your phones out.
Everybody did it. And then he made them put their phones up in their pockets.
Oh, good.
Take them out until you are done with this concert.
Okay. Have you guys seen this new thing that is for sale? And it is, I can't think what this material is called. I guess Gore-Tex or whatever. It's a super tough material, and they are giving them out to people at concerts. So they give you this little packet thing, and you put your phone inside there, and they lock it up. So you have your phone, and it's inside this Gore-Tex pouch, but you can't use it until the concert's over. You bring your phone back, and they unlock it.
That would be awesome. Some people wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it.
I'm one of those people.
I know. I wondered how you felt about that, Brooke.
I've never been to an event where they've done that.
It's a big thing, and apparently it's growing in popularity. And it's not just to protect the artist's work. It's also about this idea that Jason's talking about of, you know, helping people be present, essentially.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So
yeah, cool.
He's an awesome guy. I mean, and he's a really nice guy, and he was great with the book talk. I mean, he took all the time we needed to answer questions and stuff. So he's a really good guy. It's a really worthwhile.
Fantastic. I'm so glad that you guys got to take advantage of that in person too. Thanks for sharing it. Well, we just have a couple more resources, and that's good because we have a couple more minutes before we break tonight. So I wanted to make sure that you guys know about Be Internet Awesome. I looked around on here for a while to see if I could find suggested grade levels for this, and having not been an elementary school teacher myself, I would say you should probably just look at it if your students are older and see if it would still be appropriate to them. But this also is a game, kind of like the site Tammy showed us. And you have this like world that you play within called Interland, like Internet Land, I guess. And I like this one because it has a positive spin. Obviously, it's from Google. But I don't want kids to be scared to be online, and especially adults to be scared for kids to be online, because I do hear that a lot, you know, like we're not doing devices because, you know, we're afraid of what might happen or whatever. I mean, we can't be afraid. Kids are going to be a part of this world. We have to help them learn to navigate it. And that's what this program is about. Obviously, Google does not want you to, you know, not be online. For teachers. So this has been a responsibility of my job before. I was in charge of new teacher training programs in my previous work life, and I was responsible for having the conversation with new teachers about what their lives were going to be like online. And it's something we don't think about a lot of times. But people who are new to our profession don't know that, you know, maybe their bikini picture that was okay when they were in college now needs to be set to a certain group of friends only, because they are now a public, you know, sort of a public figure. People are going to be looking at that. They're going to feel a part of that person's life. And there are people who have been pushed out or fired for having inappropriate material online. So this is part of the level 1 certification from Google. As you guys know, this is all free. And if I were doing that lesson now, I think I would probably have my new teachers go through some of that material. So, and Carrie has graciously given us one of her challenges. You guys know Carrie Orts. She is the challenge queen, and she has given us a challenge that she uses with her students. So, you know, I love that she gives those out. You can take it, you can adapt the idea if you want to, or I know she doesn't mind at all if you use it as it is. So take advantage of that and have your students actually do something to learn these skills instead of, you know, maybe just watching a video or just listening. Have them actually take action and, you know, complete something, create something, which, as we all know, is a powerful mode for learning. So, Brooke, before we break tonight, do we have any questions or comments, anything that we should address before we go?
No questions. Mainly everybody's just really excited about the resources. So, and I have to tell you guys, I really enjoyed it as well. I always learn so much from our other teammates, and I'm already looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Yeah. So we'll be putting something out there soon about what our next topic will be. You know, we chose this one because it's what people asked for. And, you know, let's pick all the topics this way. What are people struggling with right now? I know last year at the end of the school year, we did one about, you know, like what kind of technology projects and things like that. I mean, we all hate for it to be relegated to the end of the year, but if it is, let's make the most out of it and make the end of the school year the best it can be, because we know the internet is going to be slow and suffering after testing is over. So what are we going to do then? So we'll maybe figure that out, or some other pertinent topic. Tammy, Jason, Brooke, thank you guys so much for being on tonight. It is almost past my bedtime, so I'm going to have my screen off time here for about 10 minutes. All right, everybody, thanks for joining, and have a good rest of your evening.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night. Good night.